So with the armchair challenge, it sort of brings me back to Ribeiro and Ade Paul. Those are the two things I mentioned earlier, and I'll be sort of tackling them in other videos. But one of the things they touch on in trying to demarcate metaphysics and science is to speak about the high levels of generality of metaphysics versus the particularity of the empirical sciences. That's one way to sort of demarcate them. And I think that if we look at nominalism, the thesis that there are no universals, and we sort of put universals and generalities, conceptually side by side, you can see how nominalism, with its rejection of universals, slash generalities, can lead to anti-metaphysical attitudes, as metaphysics as an inquiry is almost like indelibly general. Like, that's its nature. And so if you start questioning generalities, with sort of nominalist influence, then you can see how the nominalist strand can downstream lead to sort of anti-metaphysical attitudes. And it's interesting because Matt Segall, in a conversation with Tim Jackson, he said something very interesting, in that we need to bring back thinking about efficacious generalities, right? We need to get back to that mode, and I think that's touched on the issue very well, right? There's this whole lineage of sort of trying to think of efficacious generalities. They were sort of Plato's forms, and then they sort of became laws of nature, and different ways to